Yep. You back in this here mix. Sorry I had to get off earlier because I got a 9 to 5. Unfortunately. So that means from time to time I gotta handle business. But let's get back to this shit, shall we? Let's get in this hack. Once again, I'd like to say fuck YouTube. You need to stop all that censoring. And if you can't, fuck you. Interesting, this microphone is not peaking. Hello, hello, hello. Let's make sure the right one is selected. Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's go ahead and start this. There we go. A little something I'm working on. It's not even close to being finished. When I get finished with it, it's just gonna be nasty. But anyways, we starting this shit off with 0 people up in this bitch. I don't give a fuck. I'm still gonna do what I do. So I started way too early, but that's okay. That's okay. I usually try to wait until ISIS gets in the room with somebody, but I guess we're gonna be talking to the darkness, for a little while. That's okay. I can start Dolo. I can start Dolo if I need to. Anyways. So I was on here earlier and I was talking about the comment section, and I was going through this because I was getting raw because I thought somebody, and it turned out the motherfucker was talking greasy. See, I knew he was talking greasy in the process, and that's why I was calling out the shit in the process. But I was like, okay, well, if he shouted me out, he has to know that I don't play with the fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? But the further I got on down with this individual, I don't see him anymore on here. Hold on. I don't see him anymore on here. Is he? There we go. Reggie Norvell. Hopefully that's not his real name, but he was on here talking all this greasy stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I have to be like, listen, just calm down. Essentially, what I'm telling him is just calm down. This ain't even your fight. If you're not descendant of American slaves, like whether you're for or against the museum has nothing to do with you. Like honestly. But I thought, you know what I'm saying, he was wrong. I thought, yeah. And then he just kept on saying, and then he kept on talking about some descendants of American slaves on welfare and all. Bitch, who? Why are you talking? Shit, my mama was on welfare at one point. What the fuck you talking about? Who you talking about, nigga? You know what I'm saying? I come from somewhat of a broken home. At least my father stated in my life. You know what I'm saying? Despite the divorce, but the divorce still had the issues, you know what I'm saying? Still had an effect on me, right? I come from a quasi-broken home, right? So who the fuck you talking? Oh, y'all baby mamas and baby dad. Nigga, calm your ass down. But it's so funny how I put out the thing and now you got this long treatise to Boulayism, right? This is like a treatise to Boulayism. Is what this person just wrote, this Rico Brown person. But you can see the timestamps, and you can see the video. Like this is like right on the heels of the video that I put out, going over the comment section here, and it's so funny. Let me make sure. Let me actually close this out. But it's so funny how like after I put out the little video of the comment section, you have this long treatise to Boulayism here. So we're gonna go through this and read it and see what they say. You know what I'm saying? Because I think, see, this is what happens, right? Because I had to do the same thing. I think ISIS was in the room when I had to do this on the other dude, where we were having a conversation and some stupid ass motherfucker in the chat talking about, well, somebody need to raid his house or some stupid shit while he's on. And I had to stop everything. I'm like, listen. Tariq has kids. Like, don't go up in this man's house in any way, shape, fashion, or form. Right? I had to basically stop everything I'm doing and on some real shit defend him and his family and stuff like that, right? I hate that types of distractions. I hate that type of distraction. Like, I want to stay on my shit. I want to stay on, you know what I'm saying, stay with my foot on the gas. Not necessarily have to brake for stupidness, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I thought I was doing. I thought I had to put my foot on the gas and I had to brake for some stupidness with these comments. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But it's so funny how I put that out there and then like right on the heels of literally me pressing in stream because I had to go handle something at my job. I have a 9 to 5, like I said. So, I had to handle something at my job. But right on the heels of that, we got this long diatribe here where they're putting out this. But what I was saying was, in my having to go against that guy after I found out how the fuck shit he was saying out of his mouth, right? It made me have to appear to like defend Tariq again to a certain degree when I'm not trying to defend this nigga in any way, shape, fashion, or form. But I hate these types of distractions where it's like somebody does some fuck shit and then all of a sudden I gotta be like, oh shit. I'm on the side of calling out the fuck shit, right? Because last night when he was talking all this shit, I was like, dang, man, I got you. Man, he's just trying to say this shit. He's just trying to say, people are not descendants. Well, he was saying FBA. Fuck FBA. He was like, well, people are not descendants of American slaves if they're criticizing. I'm like, where the fuck is he getting this weirdo ass narrative? You know what I'm saying? I'm from the backwoods. You know what I'm saying? Both my parents are descendants. Who is he talking about? Who is? But now I can see if that dude was in here talking greasy after just talking about all descendants of American slaves. He was saying FBA, but again, fuck FBA. That hashtag is stupid. Anyways, he would say all descendants of American slaves are on welfare. And you can't marry your queens like we do, and blah 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 blah. And then he's posting the parody video, the link to the This nigga. Like, what the fuck is you doing? So I have to stop what I'm doing in order to do that. But in the gap, it seems like somebody has done some responses. So I would like to read the response, the finish off our reading of Indiegogo comment section, right? So, it's so funny. I mean, I might as well just say hello. You know what I'm saying? Let me see how many people we got up in here. Let me go back. We got one. Who's up in here? Is it ISIS up in here? Who's up in here? Go ahead and identify yourself. It's okay. I can talk to just... Oh, nobody. We got nobody up in here. They quit. They jumped out. Oh, must have been my ex-wife being nosy. Who knows? Anyways. We gonna go over this. I told you I can go over this shit silently with nobody in the room. It's all gravy. So Rico Brown was like, there are 3 arguments that have been consistently raised against this campaign. It is useful to explore those in detail and nuance and in a detailed and nuanced manner. Okay. Let me see your 2 points. Why, blah, 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 blah. There's no parking, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not my points. So you just picked up points of Reggie, and now you're trying to amplify them, amplify that straw man in order for you to be able to get a response, right? So let me do a quick search. Hold on. Let me do a quick search. Let me make sure my microphone's still working. This thing is kind of got a touch of YouTube in it. Hold on. We go to reparations. No, wow. That's funny. You search for reparations on a video, on an Indiegogo for a hidden history museum, and you can't find any. But mine is reparations. This won't lead to reparations, Rico. Rico. I know you're gonna watch this video because you probably watched the other one. Address reparations since you're acting as a surrogate, right? For Tariq Nasheed. Can you answer how this Hidden History Museum is going to give people reparations? That's what I would like to know, sir. If you could help me out with that, that would be great. Sir or ma'am, I don't know which one. Sir or ma'am. It's all gravy. Hold on one second. How come I can't hear myself? Hold on. Yeah, how come I can't hear myself? I usually can hear myself. And this is turned all the way up. Hold on. I gotta do something. There we go. Hello. God damn it. Hello? Hold on. Hello? Oh, there we go. I had the monitor switch off. There we go. Learning new things about this thing every day. Thankfully, I didn't blame YouTube and turn myself into a conspiracy theorist in the process. There, I can hear myself. Anyways, so Rico Brown. So he's talking about all this shit, but he didn't say reparations. And like I was doing earlier, let me do it again. Control F. Oh, it's already there. Let's find reparations being said on this page, right? Where's reparations? No, reparations. In any of this comment section up to the top. So that means Rico didn't bring it up. Let's go back to the story. Let's see if reparations is being mentioned there. It's already up. So reparations. Oh, so reparations is not even mentioned anywhere in this description to this museum. All right, not a word of reparations in total of all of these words. You would think that a person that was advocating or serious about advocacy for reparations would tie that into every single thing that he does, considering that reparations is the only silver bullet to the werewolf that is white supremacy, right? You would think that would be the case, but it's not. It's not something that's even brought up. So let's talk about Rico's strawman argument using this other person down here who's very disrespectful to descendants of American slaves. And I wish he would just back out of the conversation altogether. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for your comments. But it's one of those things where it's like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's one of those things where it's like, you entering into, now I don't want to use that analogy, but people know what I'm about to say, right? People know what I'm about to say. They know what I'm about to say. And I don't want to say it because, again, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm beefing. Like, I shouldn't have to have this argument or this type of logic. But let's just say you don't have anything to do with this situation. You're outside of this situation, right? If you're not a descendant of American slaves, just keep your mouth closed about any sort of debates about whether or not this museum should be, right? Because you're going to have to get used to keeping your mouth closed, because once we get reparations, you're not going to be a part of that conversation either, right? So once we get reparations and we're deciding on how to spend the money and what type of programs we need, your input is not going to be necessary in that situation either. So why don't you practice shutting the fuck up right about now? Like, if you're not a descendant of American slaves and you're contributing to this, just shut your mouth and contribute if that's what you want to do. If you're not contributing because you don't want to contribute, because you feel a certain type of way about Tariq Nasheed, okay, fine, no problem. But be very careful about being disagreeable with Tariq Nasheed and coming out your mouth crazy about descendants of American slaves. Let me back out of a situation. So back in the day, back when I was stupid enough to be even watching on a religious basis American descendants of slavery, their Yvette and Tone's videos back in the day. One of my favorite rappers, there's a I've already went through this before, but I'm gonna go through it again. One of my favorite rappers. There's a whole bunch of list of lyricists that you know what I'm saying, that are on my top list. One of those people was Talib Kweli. Talib Kweli. Anybody who knows me knows that Talib Kweli was like Mos Def Talib when they did Black Star and they had what's called up in there. That was cool too. You know what I'm saying? Reese. You know what I'm saying? The whole, that was you know, Talib Kweli. You know what? The problem though is because ADOS sort of combined the name of their organization with the name of the lineage, right? When people wanted to criticize the organization, now they have the AF after it, which is convenient and thankful that they did that. But when they didn't have that, they were basically using the lineage as a shield. So anybody who basically was criticizing the organization had to use ADOS as the name of the organization, but that also was the name of the people. So I got into this Twitter back and forth with Talib Kweli, right? Where he was coming out of his mouth talking about some fuck ADOS or ADOS is trash and all this little bullshit. I was like, who the fuck are you talking about? We went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and because he was a blue check Twitter bitch, he ended up getting me banned. But imagine this, like, you know what I'm saying? You're a young producer or a young beat maker, right? And you're looking at lyricists like Mos Def, Talib Kweli, you know what I'm saying, these types of people, and you're thinking to yourself, well, one day I'll be able to make a beat for them. And you grow up only to curse that motherfucker, slap the fuck out on Twitter because they are saying ADOS is trash, right? Like, just keep your mouth closed. If you're not a descendant of American slave, if you are thankful to be granted access to this country off the backs of our labor, and we're having some sort of internal dispute, shut the fuck up. Like, honestly, just shut the fuck up. It doesn't have shit to do with you. Like, you can have comments, but whisper them bitches, right? Because you may be on one side of an issue. You may think that Tariq is rah-rah, he's good. And you may think Tariq is horrible and bad. But when you enter in to the conversation and you're not a descendant of American slaves, you really just fuck yourself up. You actually fuck up the side that you claim to support. Actually, you fuck up the side that you claim to support because regardless of the fact you were born here, your tradition, your culture is not of here. And because of that, ultimately, your pridefulness in your own culture is going to show up in how you debate. Because when somebody brings up the fact that, hey, you're not from here, you should shut the fuck up, you're going to be like, you're going to try to boost yourself up in some way, shape, fashion, or form, no matter which side of the argument you take. And when you do that, you're going to fuck up the side that you're trying to support, right? That you think you're trying to support. So if you're not a descendant of American slaves, shut the fuck up. I wouldn't go to Trinidad. I wouldn't go to Grenada and enter myself into a debate with somebody about a topic, right? If there was a situation where I was donating for, let's say there was a controversy as to whether or not they should put some sort of monument to, I know they have like an underwater, I really want to go see that. I think I need to schedule a flight to go see that. But there's like an underwater monument to slavery, to the slaves that died in the Middle Passage, and there's like these statues that's under the water, right? Like, what if they were having a debate about whether or not they should change those statues or do something with those statues or whatever, or if they should do something that's specific to the island as well, not just necessarily to. Okay, and they were doing a donation. My consent in that situation should just simply be my donation. It shouldn't be entering into the debate, right, about that situation. It really shouldn't be entering into the debate as if I have a vested interest. Like, my sole job is to either give or don't give. but don't enter into the debate between those individuals. If anything, if two people are debating and they're native or that issue touches them more, what I should be doing is actually just sitting back as a neutral observer and observing the arguments from both sides, right? Not necessarily injecting myself. And I would suggest that anybody, I'm taking a long time to do this. I know this is long form content. This is not for the short attention span. And if you do have a short attention span, hopefully I give you some sort of intermittent reinforcement payoff at the end of this to where you have some sort of incentive to not want to be a shorter attention span person at some point in time. So, but what I'm saying is, if you are not a descendant of American slaves, just shut the fuck up in this debate. I don't want to hear from you when it comes down to this museum. I don't want to hear from you, period. Because when we start talking about reparations, you're not going to be a part of that conversation either. You're not going to be a part of that conversation either. Whether you're for one side or for another side, or I know. Hip hop culture has allowed a large amount of you motherfuckers to just jump in without paying any sort of toll or without passing any sort of test, right? We need to have a poll tax and some entrance exams for hip hop culture, as opposed to the entrance exams and counting beans and marbles and all this other little shit that we had to do in order to vote. We actually need to have that type of entrance exam for individuals going into hip hop. But you think because you toll-free jumped your ass into hip hop, mostly because of those non-descendants of American slave artists who just allowed anybody in off code, you think that you can jump into every single conversation. You can't. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Like, honestly, you're being very, like, for instance, if I have a targeted, laser guided situation that points out a very good and obvious point, your ass is in the middle with mirrors and diffracting the shit, and just stay out the way. Nobody needs your opinion. If you're not a descendant of American slaves, shut the fuck up about a large host of issues. This museum being one of them. This museum being one of them. Like, I want to be very, very fucking clear. Like, I hate having to do this, because it's like a repeat of the defending the Tariq from somebody possibly trying to talk about something breaking into his home. I hate this types of distracting bullshit. I hate this type of shit, because I have to don my respectable man cap and defend people who are pieces of shit, in my opinion, right? I hate this type of shit. If you're not a descendant of American slaves, practice shutting the fuck up. Start with this museum. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. We got this. We got this. Fully. We got this. Shut the fuck up. With that said, let's go ahead and get to this fucking point. Hold on. Let me make sure ain't nobody caught offense to my statements in the chat. Hold on one second. Hold on. I can't really actually see y'all. I don't know what's going on here. Hold on. No, it won't let me. I can't really without squeezing everything. Hold on. Let me see if I can do that. Hey, did you know that financial black Americans is to exchange personal trade? I didn't know that. It seems like that would make sense for him to try to trademark it, right? Because it's tied to the cultural store that he's running with the flags and the Ogun juice and everything else that he's hawking. But you know, it is what it is. Like, I have, when it comes down to that, I have so many good things, but again, you don't cast good meat to pigs, right? You don't cast good ideas to somebody who's showing himself to be very, very non-transparent. I'll be very clear with my words. Non-transparent. You don't do that. Like, there's 1,001 things he could do, but it starts with clearing up this whole Aboriginal American bullshit, right? Again, that's the type of shit you throw out to corral a culture. I mean, customers for a cultural store and prime yourself for black superiority. But it doesn't actually do shit so far as a policy for reparations. It actually allows white people to have a narrative that goes against not right now. Their primary narrative against reparations is we gave you niggas a religion. Yeah, you didn't get any money, but we gave you a white Jesus who's gonna save your soul. You know he already saved your great grandmother's soul. You know she's in heaven right now. He's about to save your grandmama's soul. You know she's about to die right now. So do you really want to go ahead and give up this religion that you're saying, you know, saved your family's soul? Right? That's the primary argument that they have against reparations, right? Which I've already gone into, right? The whole notion that, you know, the religion of the slave morality religion of Christianity promotes this sort of penance or punishment in on earth in order to receive riches in paradise. But you don't necessarily need riches in paradise, now do you? Because if you need riches in paradise, then it's not really paradise unless you have those riches, which means that there has to be an opposite of you not having those riches in order for you to have confirmation that you're truly in paradise. But it's sort of the same sort of thing where I lost my train of thought. Wow, I have to be honest, because I was about to link that to the other thing that Tariq Nasheed is doing. What was it? What was that? Damn. I'll come back to it. Put a pin in it. I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it. But let's go ahead and get to this. Let's go ahead and get to this. Whatchamacallit here. Let's go ahead and get to this comment, Mr. Rico Brown. There are three arguments that have been consistently raised against the campaign. It is useful to explore these in a detailed and nuanced manner. Number one, why doesn't Tariq invest his own money? Why is he asking black folk to invest while he lives in a gated community and drives a Bentley? That's sort of a verbatim sort of copy paste of what's his name, Reggie? Of Reggie's statement, but down here. The implicit aim of this funding is to secure the land for the proposed museum. A quick Google search will uncover that the proposed land for this project currently has an asking price of $3 million. We already went over that. It's showing in Realtor.com. You'll notice, however, that Tariq has only asked for $1 million. In staking his very reputation on this project and its fulfillment, Tariq has burdened himself. Okay. With a $2 million liability, which is not inclusive of annual taxes and maintenance costs. Okay, again, stopping right there, Mr. Rico Brown. My questions to you, Rico, is if that's the case, then, you know what I'm saying, those details should be shared as a part of the story, right? If anything is supposed to come out of this counter, is that motherfuckers who want to try to fundraise amongst impoverished people, you better come 100% correct. I don't give a damn if ain't nobody in the descendants of American slave community got a business. I don't give a damn if ain't nobody has ever formed an LLC. I don't give a damn if ain't nobody know shit about real estate investment or what a REIT is or what anything is in commercial real estate. You better damn well act like they do, motherfucker. You better damn well act like they do. I don't give a damn if you feel as though they don't. You better damn well act like they do and humble yourself and provide that information. So, Rico, off rip, the fact that you're even trying to go down this theoretical, I don't know, defense of this individual, all of this information should have been on the other page where it was talking about the story for the museum. All of this information should have been over there. Every last bit of it. All right? In detail. In detail. I don't give a damn if somebody's 67-year-old grandmama is reading this and who's never finished the sixth grade because they were out picking cotton and peas. I don't give a damn. The information should be available to them should they choose to look it over or have somebody else look it over. Right? So the obvious question I would have back to you, Rico, is if that's the case, what's the structure of the loan? So if it's commercial real estate, if he's pulling down 33%, he's financing the other $2 million. Okay, so he's financing the other $2 million. What is the actual annual cost going to be? Who's going to be paying that annual cost? Or is he just basically floating the cost until he gets another infusion of cash, right? He's asking for $7 million total. The lot is $3 million. Is he ultimately trying to have the donors pay for the entirety of the lot, or does he plan on putting the remaining $6 million into building and construction while floating the loan himself? Like, these are the types of questions you have. And not only that, but okay, if it's $6 million, which I have really a large amount of doubts that he's going to be able to complete any commercial structure for just $6 million. Or definitely if he's paying for the land entirely or paying for the lot entirely, he's asking for $4 million to put anything down. But beyond that, before we even go full sail into any of those elevated topics, he's already nixed the idea of a plebiscite. So let me get this straight. Tariq Nasheed ain't putting in $7 million. He's not matching dollar for dollar, right? He's asking for $7 million. As of right now, I don't know if he's matching dollar for dollar and putting in $7 million himself and basically putting in $14 million total, right? I didn't hear that. I'm sorry. I may have wax in my ears. So if he's not putting in that much money, then why is he not actually allowing the people who put in the $7 million, who he's expecting to put in the $7 million, why aren't those individuals controlling some shit? Why is it on this page right here, you got to pay $10,000 just to be on the advisory board? How about fuck all that? How about every single person who put in even $50 gets a vote? How about there be a website set up exactly for that purpose, for you to be able to go ahead and say, I put in $50 into $1 million campaign. If there's anything that happens or anything that goes on with this campaign in the future, if I need to vote on it, my $50, my votes, my 50 credits towards the million credits gets me to my ability to vote. I can put in automatic voting based on what I want or what I think I should have in a situation. Like, for instance, if there's a vote coming up and I already know what my decision is going to be, I can preemptively put in my vote for the specific date that the vote is due by and stuff like that, and I can actually put in some controlling effort into the situation. All right? Why is that not the case? I don't care about what you're talking about, well, he possibly could be. No. He's not putting out any documentation to prove anything that you're just saying. So you're just doing counter speculation is what you're doing. And trying to masquerade it as logic. That's not going to work. It's not going to fly. He has a keyboard. That keyboard prints out letters. He could easily modify this story and provide all that information if he wanted to. He's not doing that. And my question is why? My question is why? Why is he not doing that? Why is he not being upfront with the people? And the reason why he's not being upfront with the people, he doesn't respect them. That's the reason why he's not being upfront. He doesn't actually respect them. He doesn't feel as though you ignorant niggas deserve any of that information because you too stupid to understand it. And even if you are smart enough to understand it, he doesn't want to be under your control if you do understand it. He doesn't want to have your input. He just wants to have your donations and tell you to shut the fuck up. That's what Tariq Nasheed wants, in my opinion. And because of that, that's the reason why he's not providing this information. But Rico, I guess we've already summed up what the rest of this is going to be, but I'll read it anyway. The implicit, okay, we already did that one. It can therefore be seen that Tariq is indeed putting his money, well, no, this is your speculation, where his mouth is. He is asking the community to provide money that will likely be used for a deposit and mortgage financing, well, construction loan. Um, and he is assuming the rest of the financial liability. We don't know that. This is all your speculation. We don't know that. This is Rico Brown talking, unless this is Tariq Nasheed talking under a nom de plume for Rico. I mean, under Rico Brown. Then I'm going to assume that this is Rico Brown, a separate entity of Tariq Nasheed, and therefore all of this shit comes directly from your colon and being splashed on the page until there's actually proof and documentation being provided. Why the fuck should we listen to anything that you have to say? But again, I'm gonna read it into the record, boy. I'm reading it into the record, boy. It can therefore be seen that Tariq is indeed putting his money where his mouth is. This is your opinion. He's asking the community to provide money that will likely be used for a deposit and mortgage financing, and is assuming the rest of the financial liability. It's not really a liability; it's an asset. It's an asset in a financially in a soon-to-be gentrified area. So let's just stop the games as if this is a liability. Fuck out of here. 5 years, he could probably sell that shit for double. That Tariq has always been financially affluent is a testament. See, this is where we get into the boule treatise of a boule nigga. That Tariq has always been financially affluent is a testament to his financial acumen, and is actually a positive indicator that he has the financial means to bring this project to fruition. You would trust a brother driving a Bentley to be able to secure a $3 million site about that. Site, think about that. Okay. No. No. Just because somebody has a luxury vehicle doesn't mean that they know what the hell they're talking about when it comes down to real estate. That has nothing to do with that. Symbols of wealth, tokenism, token symbols of wealth has nothing to do with affluency. It has nothing to do with aptitude, has nothing to do with intelligence, and it has nothing to do with experience. This types of logic makes you open to sort of scams, right? When we talk about Bernie Madoff, the reason why people trusted him with his money is because he carried an air of competency that made it to where people just didn't ask him any questions about anything that he was doing. The lack of questioning leadership makes you open and susceptible to scamming and manipulation. So the whole idea that you're trying to link him in a Bentley that you have no paperwork on and saying that makes him competent in the area of commercial real estate, nonprofit construction. No, that doesn't make him competent in any way, shape, fashion, or form. Yeah, that's number one. Number two is I don't want to go there because I feel like that's giving ideas. I don't feel like giving any positive ideas to this, right? I'll just say this. There's other less expensive areas that this could have been built in that actually had more that are more significant to the legacy of descendancy from slavery than California, right? There are a trillion better places with much less commercial real estate costs for construction that he could have put this in, but LA it is. That's what he wants to try. There is no parking lot at the proposed site. Again, this is straw man arguments, right? So this person, this non-descendant of American slave, came into the conversation, puked out some bullshit, and now the opposition side thinks that, all of these are valid straw man arguments to knock down, and so once we knock down these straw man arguments, you shouldn't have a problem with donating. So again, I didn't necessarily see that there was no parking. I mean, it did seem like it, took up the entire site, but whatever. But here it is. The proposed site is in walking distance from a future Lamont Park metro station, which we've already covered in one of the videos, which is the reason why it's a prime real estate, downtown, middle of everything, right next to a commercial or a soon-to-be metro station. When built, the station on the K line will connect to LAX and the historically black neighborhoods of Inglewood, Hyde Park, and Jefferson Park. Additionally, the site is within proximity of Crenshaw Plaza, where there are several thousand parking spaces. Additionally, to new developments in close proximity are set to add 7,000 parking spaces to the area. In other words, there is an abundance of parking in close proximity, walking distance, or short Uber ride away to the site. Therefore, parking and accessibility are complete non-factors. And analysis of the facts reveal. Oh Lord Jesus. Cue the CSI, or no, not CSI. What show is that with the dum dum? Cue that music, whatever that is. Jesus Christ. Therefore, parking and accessibility are complete non-factors. An analysis of the facts reveal how desperate and specious these arguments are. Wow. If it wasn't for the double use of is, I would think that you were probably at least a paralegal. Hold on 1 second. Wow. Black people have pressing needs for schooling, healthcare, housing. Wouldn't $1 million be better spent? See, this is a red herring. These are all horrible arguments. Nobody's actually saying any of that. Listen, I will say once again, my argument is, fuck the money. Fuck the money. Maybe we need 10 times the amount of money. Maybe we need $1 billion raised in the black community, so long as it nets us reparations. Right? Maybe we need $1 billion raised in the black community in order for us to have a political action committee put together whose sole purpose is to get reparations, which is a $20 trillion and counting with inflation price tag. Right? Maybe fuck a million. Fuck a million. Maybe we need more. But the priority isn't a fucking museum, though, with that money. The priority isn't a fucking museum with that money. The priority is reparations with that money. That's the priority, right? So, and the straw man, oh, well, we need this, we need all these areas, housing, healthcare, schooling, all this stuff. That's the reason why Umar Johnson's school is a great idea, even though it's run by a narcissist, in my opinion. Even though the likelihood of it actually coming to fruition is becoming less and less likely every day. His actual idea of a segregated, housing included, schooling environment for children is a very good idea. I think it actually should still have a virtual component. But it's not going to work out because black people don't have enough money to pay for it. And the government isn't going to finance it because it's so off code, because of the fact that it's being the priority is something that they can currently fight, which is putting in black male teachers into a school like that would be seen as discriminatory, even though the numbers actually already highlight and show that black male teachers in school actually help the performance of all black students, but especially black boys. They actually learn better in environments where there's black male teachers. But because of the fact that he's selecting for that, and race being a component of that, he's never going to get any sort of major funding for his school. All right? He's never going to get any major funding for his school. So the real thing that oh, there we go. So if y'all new here, this happens from time to time. Me and my microphone, it's not really my microphone, it's really the cable. It's kind of janky. If you touch it wrong, it'll just disconnect. But anyways, I forgot entirely what I was saying as a result. But let's just go ahead and get on. What was that, Nikai? I heard something about Hispanic. Hold on. You got to show a bunch of Hispanic guys with a black family. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. The problem with that is, and I saw that stupid shit, where it's like, oh, well, he had black ancestry. Who gives a flying fuck? I don't give a. Oh, okay. So this high yellow person got a black person somewhere deep, dark, hidden in the recesses of their family. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. And and what the fuck do I need to know about this person for? The fuck? Okay, they got a black person in the family. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Anyways, back to what we was talking about. Like, who gives a flying fuck? But of course it has to be highlighted on his side for some reason. I have no idea. Paco from the gas station. He had black ancestry. Like, who gives a flying fuck? I swear I'm gonna remix this. I don't give a damn if it's well after the fact. There are so many jokes. So many jokes left on the cutting, or not even on the cutting room floor. I did that literally. I did that video in bed. I told you, I woke up that Sunday, I think it was Sunday or Saturday, and I was like, well, I had like a little, the part at the end already on there, like the part where he's like, I'm broke, I can't eat, nigga, I'm broke, that type of thing. I had that on there. I was like, oh, well, let me add some more stuff. So I was like 4 hours later, and I had the video. But I left so many jokes on the cutting room floor. Like, imagine if it was like, Paco, he has black ancestry, and it was basically like a video of somebody at a random gas station, right? Or random white people, and like this, Elizabeth, she has black ancestry. Like, who gives a flying fuck if somebody has a random black person in their family? How is that museum worthy, right? Like, what did they do in their time to help the descendants of slavery? Or actually, in their time, the direct freedmen, right? We're talking about freedmen at that point. What did they do for those individuals, right? And what are you going to put in the museum that can't be searched online? That's the other question. Like, is the family providing you with something? Right? Did you go to the Pico family and they committed to providing you with his journals, in addition to the fact of you vetting him to see whether or not he did anything for black people or descendants of slaves or freedmen in their time? Like, if you have none of this information, if you just have the fact that they were elevated by white people, and they happen to have black ancestry that they probably hid from those same white people that elevated them to their positions, then who gives a flying fuck? Oh yeah, what's up, man? I had to bounce, man. I had to bounce, but we got some new updates on here. So, anyways, we're on point 3. We're on point 3. So that was a long-winded response to point 3, which is basically fuck point 3. And it's not about the money. It's not really about the money. It's about the aim of the money. The aim of the money. If the aim of the money is not going towards getting reparations, then it's a waste of money. It doesn't matter if we're talking about Tariq Nasheed and this janky ass hidden history museum, or we're talking about Kwame Brown and his 3,000 or 16 trillion Fila shoes that he paid $60 a pop for. I don't know where the fuck he went to pay $60 a pop for some goddamn Filas for kids. Who's charging these prices? Who has the gall, the unmitigated gall to sell Filas for $60? Like, who the fuck are you? You fancy pinky finger in the air motherfucker. Who the fuck do you think you are, sir? These are Filas. You want to sell these shits? I know, I'm country. I'm saying Filas instead of Filas. But fuck that. These are Filas. You selling Filas for $60? Who the fuck is you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Is these bitches new in a box? Have these never been open since 1996? What the fuck are you talking about? $60? This nigga's bragging. Oh, it was buy one for around about $60, and I get the next one for 15%. Nigga, what? I wouldn't pay anything but more than $15 for some goddamn Filas. Oh, and that's for me, size 13. I wouldn't pay nothing but $13 to $15 for a size 13 in Filas, much less for some goddamn children's shoes. But whether we talking about children's shoes or we talking about $1 million for a janky ass hidden history museum that's not so hidden from Google, it's not about the money. It's about what are you raising the money for? If it's for reparations, I'm all for it. Like I said, we may need to raise $1 billion between now and reparations. We may need to have fundraisings to the point of $1 billion. We may have to do something to the effect of, hey, you got to really put in a monthly subscription to this shit. You have to really put in some real fucking money to this shit. You may have to decide whether or not you can eat today. You know what I'm saying? Or whether or not you're going to pay your reparations bill. You know what I'm saying? To what we trying to, it may get to that point, but I don't give a damn. If we're talking about reparations, I don't give a damn how much money you're talking about. So long as it's obviously not more than what we're actually going to get back, then that just makes no business sense, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to trip over a large amount of money if we're talking about a concrete plan to reparations, right? Because you're fundraising against institutionally impoverished people. Right? So if you're going to ask them to decide between, you know what I'm saying, I don't give a damn. You're going to ask them to decide between whatever they're doing as a coping mechanism within their lives to make sure they make it another day. You know what I'm saying? Or if it goes to the point of you're asking them for money that they really should be putting towards other bills in order to maintain the shitty quality of life that they already currently do have, right? For something that's bullshit? No. That's what I have a problem with. But if you're doing it for reparations, yes, I'm on board for that. And not only that, but how you do it, right? You're not just going to come into this community, try to tell everybody who's asking you questions, oh, y'all zip coons, and then move on. Nigga, what? What'd you say? We what? For asking basic questions. In your hypothetical scenario, you were talking, Tariq Nasheed, just in case you're here, buddy. You were talking about, in your theoretical hypothetical situation, you were talking about somebody who's bringing in $100,000, and you were calling them a zip coon for asking you basic questions. Well, sir, I guess we could see where that got you. I guess we could see where that got you. Even though I'm fairly confident that this is going to be the Miracle Action Network right here between these two donation pools. But as of right now, we can see where that type of logic got you. Right? I guess they didn't really want to be a part of the advisory board. I guess they really wanted more than just that. But anyways, going back to this, because it's hard for me to get off of this because it's just so wrong. But anyways, horrible analogy coming up. This is like going to the Nike store and asking them why they don't sell Adidas. Okay. Crowdfunding platform. Crowdfunding platform are for discretionary. Platforms are for discretionary spending. Nobody is obligated to give anything. Oh, this is the whole, well, we didn't tell you to do it, nigga, type of argument. To this end, millions, I'm assuming, this person has a problem with their S key sticking. Millions of dollars have been raised for video games. Shenmue 3. This is funny because we brought up about video game fundraising in the last video I did today before this comment was posted. It's almost like you were listening there, buddy. It's almost like you were listening. Almost. But anyways, and you're using it somehow. You think that I'm being supportive of what you're saying, but I'm not. But anyways, there is also a project that has raised over $1 million for Peppermill. That is the thing you use to grind. Okay, excellent. It doesn't matter. Those people had discretionary income. Are you talking about white people? See, that's what I'm talking about. Be specific. Be specific. I need a pop filter because it's popping every single time I say something P because I'm trying to hold it in my hands. But anyways, so you have to compare apples to apples, sir. Were those people white or were they descendants of American slaves? Are descendants of American slaves out here giving money for a pepper grinder? Because I have time to slap every last one of them across the face. Like, please identify all those backers, and I will take a cross-country tour and slap every last one of them across the face. Are we the ones giving to Shenmue 2? Is a majority descendants of American slaves giving to Shenmue 3? If that's the case, I will slap every single backer and every single donor of such a project immediately. Okay? Give me their names. I will go and slap the dog shit out of them. But I don't think that's the case. These are white people and their children, which we've already gone over in another video. I don't know if we have to go over it again. Should we? Let's do that. This is long form. So I think it's JER.Senate. Is it? Black wealth by education. Senate. Long form content, aka sometimes this shit is boring, but it'll help you out a lot. Yeah, JEC. Yeah, this is it right here. I must have cleared my cache or something. Oh, I think I did that earlier when I was trying to solve a problem with this janky ass. Well, no, I don't want to say that about OBS. OBS is straight. OBS is straight. So let me help you out there, Rico. Why these most likely white and non-white people were able to raise so much money for these backing projects? Thankfully, I've seen this so many times I can go directly to the page. It just skipped on me. It's this right here, because those individuals with less than a high school diploma still have $62,000 in median wealth. Less than a high school diploma, and you still have $62,000 in net wealth. So them giving $100 or $200 to Shenmue 3, they can do that. Now, what is that $100 or $200 or whatever you're asking for this hidden history museum amongst this person with $11,000 in median income, median wealth, or this person with $10,000? Notice that that's going down. Somehow we lose money, lose wealth when we graduate from high school. We only gain a certain amount more than not graduating high school when we have some college. And even then, when we finally get a degree, guess what we got? $6,000 more than a person who only has who dropped out of school. So a person with a college degree has just barely more wealth than a white person who dropped out of high school. Maybe that's the reason why they're easily able to finance stupid shit on Indiegogo. See, you gotta do long form shit. Don't just put shit out here. If you're going to make examples, do examples of descendants of American slaves being targeted for donations for a project. And then go ahead and tell us how that performed. All right? Anyways, where was I? Yeah, when people of other ethnicities start... Oh, Lord, I've already went there. Boy... You know, the real question is, why hasn't Tariq put this up? Why hasn't Tariq educated his people to a certain degree? Why hasn't Tariq? I know you're probably lurking in here, you and TBA. Y'all wondering when I'm gonna go over to the Louisiana State Attorney's office for that other shit with the doxing. You're wondering when I'm gonna go over to the New York State Attorney's office with that. You're wondering when Blog Talk Radio is gonna be questioned again. You're wondering all these questions, and I know you're probably in here. But while you're in here lurking, why haven't you talked about this to your audience? Why haven't y'all gone over this with your audience? Does it not go along with your narrative of do for selferism? You're like, you two are like do for selferism light, right? You got do for selferism Red Bull in the form of Judge Joe Brown. And you guys are like do for selferism with less calories, right? But how come you haven't gone over this type of shit? How come you haven't gone over this document word for word in all? And just take one of your little podcasts one of your little shows, and go through this entire document. It's all relevant. You see how I'm using it right now, right? It's all relevant to every single thing that has to do with money and black people. It's just that relevant. And this is just black people in general. You know that there's a separate carve out for descendants of American slaves because Nigerians are boosting this average up. Nigerians and Kenyans are boosting this average up. It actually goes down even further when you're talking about just descendants of American slaves. So how come you guys haven't gone over this document? Y'all are doing a lazy fucking job. Oh, is it the fact that if you educate people well enough, then they start possibly using that education against you? Like, for instance, TBA in your The Business channel, if you're looking at shit like this and you look at, well, men don't have enough money in order to attract hypergamous women, and you're saying just go out there and do it. Go out there and get your paper. Don't hate, you know, or so whatever euphemism you're using, whatever, Al Sharpton-esque or Jesse Jackson-esque euphemism you have for that. When you're trying to say don't hate, just go ahead and get yours and that type of shit in order to get women. This says something different, sir. This says that black men have an institutional problem with accumulating wealth, maybe not income, but wealth. This says it as well. Where is it? The child poverty rate, that says it as well. Right? I think that the reason why you guys aren't educating your populace is because you want to keep them dumb, or that's the only conclusion I can come to, that you want to keep them dumb. You really should go through this document. It's 2020, it's contemporaneous. I know it's 2021, but it's still relevant to today. Go through the document. If you have, great. But again, that's a counter to this ignorant person who's talking right here. When people of other ethnicities started crowdfunding for an ecologically friendly, biodegradable umbrella, you never see people raising this type of objection because they have enough discretionary income in order to do it easily. Nobody says, why don't we use the funds to save the dolphins or feed the homeless people either? Well, we're not talking about that. We're actually, even in your own argument, you're talking about redirecting the funds internally. So it's not another charity. We're not a goddamn dolphin to save. We're human beings, dumbass. Or feed the homeless. People either support or keep it moving. We live in a free market after all. Okay. So you just want people to shut up. You don't want people to protest. You just want people to shut up. Oh, damn. You got $50 for my grandmama, but I'm just going to shut up. No, nigga. If you're out here fundraising amongst a specific community, then the people within that community have a right to ask questions about what you're fundraising, how you're fundraising, and what you're going to do with the money. You're asking a community of people, and that community of people has a right to respond. The fuck is wrong with you? Whether they're giving or not, right? And what should happen is that more questions and more transparency should lead to more confidence. That's how that should work. The more people ask questions, the more answers are provided, and therefore the more confidence people have in the project. You could turn haters, or what you deem as haters, into supporters. Somebody who says, no, I understand what you're saying, but I've already looked at that. This is what this means. This is what's going on here. I have experience with nonprofits. This is what he's doing over here. This is why this is like that, and this is what's going to actually happen. So he's asking for, you can have that. But if you don't respect the people who you're asking for money from, you'll never do that. You'll never actually do that type of due diligence, that type of humble. You will never humble yourself enough to provide that information because you feel as though you're top shit. And why wouldn't you? If you're fundraising and asking for $1 million while spending shit tons of money while traveling, I mean, god damn, the dichotomy of that. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. That's a horrible bad look. And there's a person below that we talked about in the last video who was saying that, yeah, it would have been better if he would have done like radio campaigns, radio ads, if he would have been on people's shows talking about the Hidden History Museum and doing more marketing, maybe it would have gotten or garnered more money. And the person, even though I disagree with their opinion, even though I disagree with their point of view, again, it's in the other video, I actually can see that they are genuine in their support, and you can't do anything but respect that, right? I could tell that that person was genuine in their support. But that's a very valid point. Like, if he respected his own project, why is he out traveling at the same time when he could be out promoting it? But a part of that promotion is just a general feeling that you need to still put in work. If you're truly serving the community, then you need to put in work in order to show the people that you're actually out and your intention is to serve them. You have to put in work, and imagine that. You have to prime the pump. We talked about that earlier. But you have to actually put in the work to actually show those individuals that you're willing to work for them in the future, right? And he's not doing that, at least not that I can see. He's just over there calling people zip coons and talking shit. But anyways, bullshit argument number 1,449 on to 1,050. Tariq is not a physician. He's not a housing developer or a social worker. He's an organizer, historian, and filmmaker. These are some lofty titles that don't have any education behind them. And the current project aligns with it's hard to read this. And the current project aligns with his historic interests and talents. You see what I'm doing? This person is forcing me into Yvette Carnell reading moments. I don't know if it's the cockeye, but anyways, listen. And the current project aligns with his historic interests and talents. Okay? Gargle. Make sure you use mouthwash after all of this. If it's not your thing, keep it moving. Clearly, several thousand people do like the idea. Okay, those people who insist on raising this type of objection will need to show us white-funded projects where they have made the same type of argument. It doesn't matter about what they have. Different wealth positions. They have different discretionary incomes. Oh. We already went over this. Oh, damn. God damn it. Long form content. It's not easy to create because it's like, I shouldn't have to do this type of shit. What? I'm breaking out a calculator. Yes, we're breaking out the goddamn calculator. Do you see the calculator, people? Do you see the calculator? Breaking out the goddamn calculator. So, let's go back to the other page. Right here. And let's say right? We have a person. Let's take the average of these three, right? Let's take the average of these three. Because obviously it's going to be different for the person with 68,000. Maybe they have enough discretionary income after they pay their student loans at probably $900 a month that they can shoot Tariq $50 or $100, right? So let's just look at these three categories in the middle. So 11,000. 10,000, 9, 10 plus 13,000, 8, 10. All right. And let's just say they're equally distributed amongst those three, which may not necessarily be the case. It may actually be skewed towards non-college attendance. Excuse me. But let's say it's evenly distributed. Let's say we have 33 in the third percent less than high school, 33 in the third high school, and 33 in the third college, right? So divided by 3. All right, so that equals an average of $11,906. So 50 divided by 11,906 equals 0.4% of their net worth, right? Let's do the same thing with white people. How 280? I already know that it's going to work out to be like 7 times, but we'll see. 103, 430. Now, this is a big stretch because a large amount of white people do actually attend college in some fashion or form. But let's just say it's equally distributed amongst those 3 individual groups as well. And we could say, what is that, 89,426. So 50 divided by 89,426. We have a long ass number. So we have to think about this. We have a very small number and we have a very large number. And we want to basically know how many times that very large number, that very large number is divided by the other number. So I think we're going to do 1 over x. And that was times 0.004, right? So that's a, actually we could do it this way too. We could say, because I don't want to get my math wrong. So 11,000, we could just do it based off of, since the $50 donation is the exact same. 11,000 plus 10, 9, 10 plus 13, 8, 10 divided by 3. We can do, 1 over x times 89,426. Yeah, so 7 times. So is it, well, actually, no, it's not. It's not 7 times. Let me see. Yeah, we're gonna have to get this right. Long form content. I know it's boring. It's boring. So boring. So what is that? 50 divided by, because we're not talking about the proportion of each to each. We're actually talking about the proportions of the donation amount. But the thing is, it's so small, it's kind of hard for me to conceptualize. So this is a larger percentage than the other one. So let's say I was doing divided by 0.001. I would think that would be 4 times. Okay. So what I need to do, so what is that? 50 divided by 89,426. So I want to take this number and divide it by that number. So actually I need to take this number and multiply it by 0.004, 1 over x, so 250. So multiply this number by 250? No, that doesn't make sense. Divided by 250. It's a very extremely small number. E to the 4th means that this is going over 4 decimal places. So we'll just do it a basic rounding. We'll do 0.004 and 0.006. Actually, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 0.0005, or actually 0.0006. Not gonna worry about the sig figs. So 0.004 divided by 0.0006. Yeah, so yeah, there we go. So, which is honestly a nice little mark. So basically the difference of a person giving $50 who is in this category. I know we probably lost a large amount of people on that, but that's okay. That means that that this right here, that if you're in this category and you're giving $50 to Tariq Nasheed, and you're in this category of white people and you're giving $50 to your Shenmue game, the people here in these categories had to give, basically they were giving roughly 6.6 times the amount of their net worth, their average net worth, as opposed to the people up here. So it was 6 times easier for them to give them that money, that $50. So what that means is, up until these people giving, up until these people have to give a little bit over $300, will they feel the same impact as somebody giving $50 who is black to the same campaign? All right. So what that means is, what that actually means is, let me go back here. So what that actually means is, in comparison to This is why you need to be a hell of a lot more respectful there, Tariq, in how you handle these types of situations. So what that means is when we go back here to this money that people have given to Tariq Nasheed, hold on. When we go back to this money, that means that this is actually representative of on average, 6.6 times. Well, there are some college degree people in here. So this is a worst case scenario. Assuming nobody in this pool of people who are contributing has a college degree, that means that the worst case scenario is that this is representative of 6.6 times the wealth. So in the $395,174 that he's actually contributed, had those individuals had the same comparative wealth as white people, they would have been able to contribute $2.631 million, because that's the equivalent of what they've provided as a portion of their net worth. All right. So what that means is if you could, I don't know, give those people reparations, you could easily fund these projects with a small clique of people. But you can't necessarily do that now because you're asking for this amount of money. So that also applies to the 7 million. So times 6.66. So you're actually asking for the equivalent of asking white people. See, it works both ways there, Rico. It means that you're actually, when you ask for the full 7 million, you're asking for the equivalent of $46.62 million from white people. The difference is they have enough wealth to actually hit that mark, even if they needed to fundraise to that level. But you're not really comparing apples to apples when you're talking about, well, white people get this much money and we're not able to do it and we're just blah, 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 blah. No, there's a difference in our wealth position. There's therefore a difference in the value of the dollar that we're providing you. And the equivalent wealth that you would be asking for from white people would go up. I think it would be difficult for you to fundraise $2.6 million. That actually inverts it. So that means that if white people are asking for $1 million, right, for a project, that means it's divided by 6.66. That means that in order for you to have an equivalent project being fundraised within the black community, you really, in order for you to feel as though that campaign is gonna be funded with the same level of ease, you have to only ask for $150,000. That would be the equivalent of the $1 million that you were asking from white people. Right? It works that way, but math, long form shit doesn't really apply when you're just throwing shit on the page in order to support somebody blindly. Tariq is not a physician. He's not a housing developer or a social worker. He's an organizer. Okay. I don't know what he's organized. He's a historian. Okay. There are people with PhDs with that. Where's his? And he's a filmmaker. I'll give him that. He has made films. And the current project aligns with his historic interests and talents. Wow. If it's not your thing, keep it moving. Clearly, several thousand people do like the idea. Those people who insist on raising this type of objections will need to show us white-funded projects where they have made the same type of arguments. Okay. Most people, like I said, probably signed up for Indiegogo their first time when contributing to this Hidden History Museum. Crowdfunding is the ultimate expression of group economics, the pooling of resources that we don't have as descendants of American slaves, Rico. Or at least to the nub. This project represents an unprecedented and strategic attempt to own a cultural space in a historically black neighborhood rapidly being gentrified, and I am proud to count as a supporter. You don't counter gentrification by being consumers of property in the process of being gentrified. That is not how you fight gentrification. Consumerism, I've already went over this. We will go over it again. I'm starting to slowly, thank goodness this is long form, because it allows for me to keep on being repetitive over and over and over again if I need to be. So I will remind everybody of this part right here. Thank you for the 8 people who are watching. You are much appreciated. I'll remind you of this right here. Oh yeah, this is a little thing I did on what's called a little comment. I was like, imagine if every descendant of American slaves congressperson collaborated with the American History Museum and wore runaway slave chains. What was the full comment? Slave chains on the House floor to highlight the need for reparations, is what it's going to say. Yeah. But anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. So, where is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? I can't find it. Or it's not showing up. What video is that on? I can't remember. I don't think it was this one. Oh, yeah, I think it was this one. Hold on. Let me go here.
Greetings, family. This is Tariq.
Pause. Let me see. It was in response to somebody saying this is not a scam or something like that. I forgot what video it was on. There it is. I read all comments in YouTube Studios. But going back to this, I agree. It's a business strategy. Let institutionally impoverished people pay for your vanity projects by triggering their racism-induced generalized anxiety disorder and guiding their retail therapy coping mechanism to believe consumerism is an act of protest. Let me just read the whole damn thing because I've never read the whole thing, but it's here. I'm sorry, did I use my brain? He could easily source this money amongst the small wealthy class of boule semi-woke black people. But they will demand inclusion, control, and accountability. The business strategy revolves around us not demanding any of the above. So his strategy has shifted from ignoring the critiques to trying to label critics white to now trying to label critics as non-FBA. It's pathetic with quotations around FBA. But if he's going to pass around the collection plate for the building fund, okay, fine. But I'm going to call it out as the collection plate for the building fund. But this is the part. Again, I keep on going back to this, right? A large amount of people want to gin you up, right? We talked about that the last time he did last night when he had that little broadcast on. It's a very good, analysis of the fact that he just takes you on a roller coaster ride. He does these long form jokes. Then he'll do like a video showing a black person getting traumatized to trigger your anxiety. In the middle of these ups and downs and dips and everything, he'll do a quick little plug for some project that he has going on. So as your emotions are settling, you're thinking of those subconsciously. You're thinking of his products as the reason why they're being settled, right? Your emotions went up from something that brought it down, and it settled after something that brought it up, right? And you're constantly thinking of yourself as, oh, well, his products are what's doing that subconsciously, right? So he basically took everybody on a long form comedy thing. Then he showed the dog biting the guy. Then he was doing like a quick little hidden history museum plug. Then he did another roller coaster ride, and then he basically settled on buck breaking. And then he did another roller coaster ride, and then sort of ended the broadcast or ended the show. Right, that's his MO. You have to keep your emotional intelligence about you whenever you're watching a Tariq Nasheed video, because that's what he does over and over and over again, right? So anyways, going back to this second comment, crowdfunding is the ultimate expression of group economics. No, it's just shoving away your discretionary income into a pet project. It's not the ultimate expression of group economics. But again, he would like to make you believe that, because if he can shuffle your generalized anxiety disorder, your racism-induced generalized anxiety disorder, into believing that consumerism is an act of protest, then he can always use that as a source of money for himself in the form of setting up toll booths to your pain. Right? Oh, you feel bad about this situation? Buy some old goon juice. Oh, you feel bad about this situation? Buy an FBA flag. Oh, you feel bad about this situation? Buy buck breaking part 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Oh, you feel bad about the situation? Why don't you contribute to this hidden history museum and really show them? Right? The answer is always, to your pain is always, hey, give me some money in some form or fashion. The pooling of resources to get something done. No, it's not. This project represents an unprecedented, and it's not unprecedented, and a strategic attempt to own a cultural space in a historically black neighborhood rapidly being gentrified. Owned by whom? Controlled by whom? Owned and controlled is synonymous with each other, but also in opposition, right? Owned and controlled by whom? Right? By the people who put up the money, or just simply by Tariq Nasheed and his potential silent partners, right? That the latter is a problem. And black neighborhood rapidly expand. Again, gentrification. That's why I was going with that. Gentrification, buying property in a soon-to-be gentrified neighborhood is not how you stop gentrification. That's just how you profit from gentrification, right? That's how boule motherfuckers profit from. Damn, I need a pop filter. Jesus Christ. Let me put this a little bit further away. But that's how boule motherfuckers benefit from gentrification. But that's not how you stop or protest gentrification in any way, shape, fashion, or form. That's just how boule motherfuckers profit from it. Your children. Well, let me see. Let me back up. And I'm proud to count myself as a supporter. The significance of this project cannot be overstated. In a city rapidly being depopulated of its black denizens, oh Lord, this person is really this person. They went through the thesaurus before they wrote this shit, and they gonna let you know. God damn it, I know. Denizens. You know what I'm saying? I read a little complaint or two before I. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for my sit down state. Shut your ass up, man. Didn't even get there right after that. You put denizens and then misspelled there. Oh, wow. There, T-H-R-E, T-H-E-R-E, will be no trace left of the historic black artists, intellectuals, and activists who gave the city so much of its flavor. Your children will then be indoctrinated to believe that black people have never contributed anything of consequence to LA dominated by white. Then you should only source the money from LA people. If it's only gonna if your narrative, which I don't believe your narrative, but if your narrative is that, then he should only be asking for money from people within the LA metro area. You didn't think this all the way through, did you? You didn't think all of it. You didn't put your thinking cap on with this. There will be no trace left of historic black artists, intellectuals, and activists who gave. Come on, man. Lemert Park was white all the way up until 1949. Then around about 1949, that's when it turned black, right? No. What you call it? But I want us to get off of the gentrification shit. Again, I want us to be thinking about reparations and building a city from scratch. I want us to be talking about buying land in Florida and rebuilding Rosewood entirely from scratch, right? I want the people of Tulsa, Oklahoma, or the descendants of the people of Black Wall Street to be thinking about buying land like 1,000 or 2,000 acres and building a city, a community from scratch. That's the type of shit we should be on. Not this type of shit where we're talking about like, oh, you know, we got to save this soon-to-be gentrified community with our collective average of, let's go back, our collective average of around about $12,000 to $11,000 in net wealth, right? We got to worry about buying the block back before these white people do. You know, the white people who, if they have a college degree, have on average $400,000 in wealth between the two individuals, right? We gotta buy the block back. We gotta stop this gentrification. How, sir? And buying or helping him buy one museum ain't gonna do that. Ain't gonna do that. But anyways, I keep on stopping because of stupidness. Let me try to power through, and I'll handle everything as a group. Your children will be indoctrinated to believe that black people have never contributed anything of consequence to it. So buying this hidden history museum is gonna correct the corrupt public education system in LA County. Is now the claim. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't think it's gonna do anything associated with that. To LA County, dominated by whites, Latinos, and East Asians. Who cares? You're bringing up those groups of people as if it's gonna poke the bear to get people to act. You see, black folk. I don't know why you're using folk. That's weird. You see, black folk are very comfortable reacting to problems. Let someone get hurt or suffer an injustice and see how quickly a GoFundMe goes up. While often valid requests for help, valid requests for help, this type of group funding represents a band-aid to a systemic problem. This is why this project is so significant. It is a proactive response to a systemic problem. You've definitely been listening to a little bit of my shit because it's coming up almost in subconscious ways. This reminds me of my argument to Kwame Brown, where I basically told him that there are no individual solutions to systemic problems. This person is trying to trying to remix that into their own devices. And I would say the same thing to this, to the problem of institutional impoverishment, or even to the institutional deprivation of our knowledge about our own history. There is no individual solution to a systemic problem, right? There is no individual solution that's going to solve the systemic problem. I can educate myself, yes, but I'm still going to have to worry about the miseducation of everybody else around me, including my children and grandparents, all right? And until I address that problem on the systemic level on which it lies, then I'm not going to actually solve the problem. So therefore, individually providing funds for a museum is not going to solve the problem of miseducation within the black community. It's not even going to solve it for LA County. It's not even going to solve it for Leimert Park. It's not even going to solve it for that city. It's not going to do shit. Anyways. Oh, man, this is almost done, thankfully. This is why this project is so significant. It is a proactive response to a systemic problem. Who cares? A proactive response that's ineffective. So, you proactively punched Debo in the face. Okay, good for you. You were proactive. He's going to beat your ass right after that, but you were proactive in your first punch. Good for you. All right, awesome. To be successful, the group collective vision must extend beyond individual tragedy and look far ahead into the future. Yeah, like reparations. This is a project that will serve the community. How? Go into very specific detail on how it's going to serve the community without just using that catchphrase. Into perpetuity. You've definitely been watching. You definitely heard that video because perpetuity came out of your mouth because I said the Descendants of American Slave Museum, which should be renamed as such, but the Smithsonian African American History Museum is being funded by the federal government in perpetuity, and that you just had to use that. You was like perpetuity. Oh, that's a good word. I had to use that. Nigga, get you. Oh Lord, it's so obvious, man. Or at least I suspect. This is a project that will serve the community in perpetuity, but it won't be funded in perpetuity like the African American History Museum, now will it? And outlive the material lives of its donors. I don't know if that's true. This shit could have a hot 3 years. This shit could have a hot 3-4 years and nobody go to that shit no goddamn more. And it's all of a sudden just repurposed into something else. This is gonna have a hot 2-3 years and be done. You don't know. You think, oh, this is gonna outlive everybody, every single donor on here. You don't know that shit. This shit could be converted to a bodega in 3-4 years. All right. Don't get ahead of yourself. This is a project that will serve the community into perpetuity and outlive the material lives of its donors. Oh, this is a legacy for your children that you don't control. You can't control a goddamn ownership interest in it at all. You just donating and for some other LLC to own. Tariq Nasheed is to be congratulated for his oh God. Even my microphone doesn't like this shit. Tariq Nasheed is to be congratulated for his strategic vision. This project dovetails with his established reputation as an organizer and historian and represents a concrete embodiment of his previous work. It will only, or if only there were 100 Tariqs, they would all infight. If that was the case, they would all infight. There would be 100 conferences that you could see online for full price. There would be 100 fucking flags that you could buy. There would be Twitter beefs. There would be the chairs would rain down from heaven because the chair throwing would never cease if there was 100 Tariqs. You think that would be? Oh Lord, you think that would be paradise? You think? Nigga, I'm in Dubai. Oh, nigga, that nigga's in Dubai. Dubai is for pussies. I'm in Brazil right now. Nigga, Brazil. This nigga, I'm with Jeff Bezos. I'm in near Earth orbit right now. Oh, these niggas in near Earth orbit. I'm down here in the Marianas Trench, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I just got my hair cut down here. The fuck? The mink slice. The R&B rap, the R&B/rap battles that would ensue. The prices of chapstick, would go through the goddamn roof. If there was just 50 Tariqs, what the fuck are you talking about? You want 100? Okay. Okay. This nigga's capping. This nigga's caps lock is broke. It's stuck on. What the fuck are you talking about? I wish there was 100. If only there were 100 Tariqs. How different the fate of black people would be. Oh God. You know, that was some pure comedy there, Rico. That was some pure comedy. Great job on you, boy, or girl, whatever you are. Great job. That was pure comedy. That was pure comedy gold. It was devoid of any actual facts or any actual anecdotes or any actual arguments that can't be countered with basic common sense. But, you know, I loved it in the way I loved, like I said, that speech from Donald Trump where one of his crazy daughter-in-laws was up there talking all this shit, you know what I'm saying, waving her hands in the air like she was a Nazi representative. Like, that was just funny to me, and this is likewise just extremely funny to me that you decided to post this for everybody to see. Let me see if I can refresh this. Did anybody respond to this? Because it was only like 3 hours ago, so maybe somebody else responded. I don't know. This is crazy. So you got one downvote. You got another downvote. You got 3 upvotes. Okay. Well, cool. That's cool. But damn. This nigga said, I wish there was 100 Tariqs. The fuck is wrong with you? Slap yourself. All right, let me go through these comments. All right. Hey, did you know that the Foundation of Black Americans? I didn't know that. Okay. Checking in. What's up, Crenshaw Truth? He's going to show a bunch of Hispanic guys. Yeah, exactly. We already went over that. I was watching for the previous video, then saw you as it was live now. Okay, yeah. Now you see the links, and Jams. You see the links like, look at the timestamps. They saw the video too. So a surrogate of Tariq saw the video too, apparently, and made sure that they hurried up and posted a response using the straw man that was set up there. But anyways, the females I done seen on social media that support Tariq and Kwame are lusting after both men, making them want to donate to. Yeah, there's a lot of hypergamy going on there, but I don't want to go down that narrative. There's a large amount of hypergamy in support of all men, right? Because when you have when you're trying to or when you're showing some level of leadership quality, you're gonna naturally attract women to you to a certain degree. So those individuals are showing at least that they have grown men, you know what I'm saying, kissing their ass. So that's gonna necessarily trigger hypergamy in women, where they believe as though those men have some level of attractiveness beyond their normal and natural attractiveness. There we go. Back on. This is why I need to hear myself in my headphones, because if I can't hear myself, then I know I'm not, that y'all can't hear me either. But yeah, there's that. There's always that. Let me see. The brothers that support Tariq, Tommy, and Kwame are easily hustled by other men, or they only support them to attract women. Yeah, there's a large amount of people who are just trying to emulate somebody else for, guidance, and that really comes down to lack of male leadership in a home and a broken home structure, right? If they really were raised by men, then they wouldn't really be doing that type of stuff. But if they had fathers to look up to, they wouldn't be looking up to other men. I'll say it that way. So that's just a symptom of fatherlessness. So when they see what they deem to be a pantomime of a masculine figure, right? Which is elevated by the fact that, like, for instance, Kwame talking about, well, this is how a man's supposed to be, and blah 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 blah. And this, okay, I hate to pause to do some Kwame shit, but Kwame's a bitch. Okay, he's over there going through current shit with his ex-wife when it comes down to his child. But yet and still, right after that, he went into that. He had a woman on there berating a man. I don't know what the situation was, but he had a chick on there just talking all sorts of shit to a guy, calling him gay, calling him all out of his name and stuff like that. I'm like, isn't that the same spirit and energy of your ex-wife that you currently are dealing with, you know what I'm saying, that you said called the police on you? You know what I'm saying? And then he talks all this masculine shit, masculine this, masculine that. We need masculinity. But again, when a rapper came up to him and asked him for his help to try to cross promote his music, instead of him being an agent of change and telling that individual, okay, well, I'll promote your music if you don't do X, Y, and Z, right? I'll make sure I promote your music if you're not cursing in it, if you're not talking about this type of stuff, that type of stuff, I'll promote it. When he had the opportunity to do that, he didn't, and devolved the conversation down to the point of both of them threatening each other with guns, right? Kwame's a bitch, okay? On a man-to-man level, he's a bitch. Like, we don't need to go into his do-for-selferism, Boule Celebrity Lives Matter campaign with his janky-ass felines. Like, on a man-to-man level, he's a bitch. Because you're talking about something, well, men this, men that, we need to bring masculinity back, and blah, 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 blah. And when you have the opportunity to be an agent of change yourself, you basically abandon it. And abandon it so hard that you basically get into a death threat exchange between yourself and a random individual in front of children. He said that there were children involved in that situation, that he had to go back into the house. Oh, by the way, he was paying children to clean out his rental property. All right. I guess they were being early enrolled into a trade school. But anyways, yeah, Kwame is a weird situation. I have to be in a certain mindset to even talk about Kwame, because it's just so obvious. It's just the ignorance is so thick, right? In his situation, like, this dude has been a millionaire since he on his 19th birthday. Since his 19th birthday, he's never not been a millionaire. Right? This guy is, I think, 38, 39? Since his 19th birthday, he's never not been a millionaire. And he's trying to talk to black people as if he understands anything about their struggle or what they're going through, when he obviously does not. Right? So Kwame is a weird situation in his $60 felines. Oh Lord Jesus, what fucking store raped you off of that money? They raped that money from the kids if they charged them $60 for some goddamn child felines. What the fuck? Take every last one of them motherfuckers back. Give me them box shoes. I'm going to Walmart. Shit, fuck out of here. We going to, how Kwame? I hate to give out good ideas, but I have to give this one away. Kwame Brown, how come you didn't just do this? You could have went to Walmart. And please, anybody in the chat, please stop me if I'm saying something crazy. Stop me right now if you feel as though, what the fuck are you talking about? That's stupid. You could have done exactly this, right? You could have partnered up with, what's his name? Serato, I think this is his name. He does shoes, right? He does painting with shoes, right? What you could have done was, especially since you're targeting it, right? Since you're targeting, I hate to give away advice, but whatever. I'll give away some free advice right here. You could have partnered with him, right? And what y'all could have done was you could have went, and if you're gonna buy shoes, you could have bought a whole bunch of white shoes from Walmart, or went to a very clear wholesaler and bought a whole bunch of shoes, white shoes, from those individuals, right, in bulk. And right, you could have bought a whole bunch of painting materials and painting supplies as well, and you could have had all those kids paint their shoes, right, and decorate their shoes. Everybody had white shoes, or to start with white shoes, and they could have painted those shoes. You know what that would have done? Number one, it would have stopped you having to get brands. Number two, it would have basically made uniqueness and creativity cool within the school, right? And then those parents wouldn't have felt so bad about going to Walmart to buy those shoes or buy those clothes, because that if they got another pair of those shoes and the child got to customize them again with another set of painting material, or painting them again, that would have been like, oh, he has another pair of shoes that he painted himself. You would have been promoting within that school, instead of promoting brands, you would have been promoting creativity. That would have been better than buying them $60 felines. See, just because somebody's criticizing somebody else doesn't mean that they don't have a better idea. It just sometimes means that they don't really feel like giving it over to you. I don't really feel like giving it over to you either, but it seems like you're going to do this stupid do-for-selferism shit anyway, so there's a better way of doing that, right? You need to understand that even on the level of shit that you're doing, Kwame, and Tariq Nasheed, and all these other people out here who are just trying to do what they feel is a shortcut to getting what they want, there's a more quality way to even do the shit that you're doing. There's levels to this shit, and all of you bastards are on the bottom level on every single fucking thing that you're doing. You're on the bottom level of every single fucking thing that you're doing. So Kwame Brown, you're up there, well, I got 3,000 pairs of shoes. You could have got fucking $10, $20 white pairs of Bobos and turned them bitches into something that kid never throws away their entire fucking life. And you missed that opportunity because you wanted to go get some goddamn felines. Because you lack creativity. You lack creativity, and you think that somebody who's criticizing you is just criticizing you because they're hating you. I'm not really hating you. That's not really what it's about. I just feel as though you're wrong. But anyways, we're done. We already covered everything. We got 6 lurkers in the background. You know what I'm saying? I know Ant Jams. Who else is here? Y'all want to talk in the chat? I think I need to get StreamYard up in order to get some more people on here, so we can have some debates, right? I don't know if I really can afford to debate people. I don't know if it'll turn into a screaming match, but again, there it is. There we go again. This microphone janky as fuck. Anyways, I guess nobody wants to speak. Nobody wants to speak. It's funny. I see what highs people get off of this. What sort of amps people get off of this if they were to take all this shit as real. Like as they're going live and they're having like, you know, imagine if they had like 1,000 or 3,000 or 5,000 people. There would be a certain level of air to the shit. Fuck all that. If you're not actually serving the people, you're wasting their time as well as your own. But I can see the level of clout chasing that could occur with this type of shit. But I'm just thankful of being able to get out a counter narrative to the bullshit. I'm not just an observer. I will encourage everybody, download OBS software, click the go live button on YouTube, and try your best to go ahead and put your opinion out there no matter what. If you feel as though change is needed in the world, coming out and posting your content or posting your views, whether it be here on janky ass fucking YouTube, fuck YouTube. I need to have a lower thirds that says fuck YouTube at intermittent points throughout my live. But thank you for the free $75, YouTube. Thank you for the free $75. Every single time I hit go live for an entire month, I'm saving $75 a month in fees that I would normally pay to better platforms like Vimeo and their live stream. But I get to use it for free because you're out here undercutting competitors' prices in order to gain market share. So thank you for that. But fuck you regardless. But I would encourage everybody to put their opinions out there, right? You may think that your opinion is small. You may think that, oh, I don't have that many people watching or nobody's watching. Who gives a flying fuck? Put your opinion out in the world, right? Put your opinion out in the world. Whether it be a pebble or a stone, the water has to go around it. Once it's in the river, the water has to go around it. It may be easy for it to go around it, but if you keep on dropping them pebbles in the river stream, eventually the water is going to have to divert, right? So I would suggest and encourage everybody to put their opinions out into the world, not on YouTube. Again, I'm kind of lagging. I should have did it this weekend. I'm definitely going to do it next weekend, which is basically start putting my content on Black Junction TV. And there's another one as well. Ant Jams, you may remember, we were talking about that on the ISIS program. There's another, site that's black targeted at the very least that I was going to put my stuff up on as well. I would suggest that you do that. Not just on YouTube. Like at the end of the day, like I would love to be able to see all the ISIS stuff on another platform entirely. Not YouTube, not Facebook, not any of these, white controlled and white owned social media platforms. I would like for it to at least be on a black targeted platform, if not on a black owned platform, for me to be able to see her unfiltered opinions on matters, right? But yeah. So that's all I have to say. All the lurkers, what's up? Nice to know that y'all trying your best to get a narrative out there. But I would suggest that y'all do exactly what that one backer said and give us 30 more days to expose your janky ass actions by extending that campaign for a little bit longer. All right. And then I hope that my personal hope is that it goes 60 days and y'all still don't get the money.